Namaste, dear listeners, and welcome to the Iowa channel Astro In with Abhi, Oneness in Astrology and Spirituality, bringing in awareness by Abhi. If you haven't as yet, please subscribe to my channel. Click on the subscribe button, like and share, so that my podcast can reach as many people as possible that can benefit from my insights. Now, today we're going to talk about karmic entanglement, and it's one of the most misunderstood topics when it comes to relationships. Um, and why I say one of the most um, misunderstood topics when it comes to karmic or karma relationships or karmic relationships, and I'll explain to you the reasons as to why. Now, firstly, let's look at what an entanglement is. Now, physically, an entanglement is quite simple. You don't have to be a medium to understand this. If you look at a piece of string, or maybe your hand chain or your neck chain, and if you don't place them or you don't separate them, and if they're kept in your pocket, you don't separate them nicely, they get entangled, and you need to untangle them, obviously, isn't it? But the problem comes in when it's kept in your pocket and it starts to mix and mix and mix, and over a considerable period of time, depending on how long that string is, it's gonna be quite difficult to untangle both chains. And a better way to explain this, in when it comes to relationships, the more longer you spend with somebody, the more karmic entanglement there is. We've just explained in the material dimension how entanglement is. Now, in a relationship, karmic entanglement means that time that you spent with a special person, that has now formed a karmic memory within you. And where there's sexual activity involved, this is magnified tenfold. We must understand that when there's intimacy involved, that's at the highest, it brings about your highest, um, you know, um, a state of consciousness. At that moment when you orgasm with somebody, you reach a state of consciousness that cannot be explained using the English dictionary, because it's an experience. And once you have that experience over and over and over, or over a considerable period of time, that now becomes a karmic entanglement. Because it is so strong, it becomes absolutely difficult to untangle yourself from such. Therefore, you will see a lot of people, when they're in relationships and they are in very abusive relationships where there's lots of toxicity involved, physically, emotionally. Emotional toxicity is very, very bad, because that eats into you slowly but surely, only to leave you a completely different person in the end, and you end up forgetting who you are. So, karmic entanglements are like this. Where you're dealing with karmic relationship, and it's very difficult to leave because you've got such karmic memory that you can't see yourself not being with this person. This is a karmic entanglement. No, this is not, well, this is also could be a soulmate as well. But a karmic entanglement is something that is much, 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 much more. Uh, okay, you can't really compare a soulmate and a karmic relationship. It can be a soulmate. A karmic entanglement is a soulmate. In fact, it is a soulmate. But a karmic entanglement can be somebody who's not just a soulmate in relationship. It could be a soulmate maybe as a friend. This is karmic relationships is mostly formed through intimacy. The karma is so deep that it's embedded in the person's mind and definitely their body and spirit. Such a kind of relationship, um, a person starts to behave like their partner in most cases. Uh, they start to exhibit the traits of their partner. And such an entanglement, only in the end, when you're out of such a situationship, it can take you a very long time to emotionally get out of it. But once you do, you feel like maybe 1,000 kilos or a ton of weight has been uplifted out of your shoulders. And such people, when they come out of karmic entanglements, they do not want to get back into a relationship because they feel the beauty of being light once again. and they don't ever want to get back into a relationship. And you'll see a lot of people that have opted to be alone for a good number of years. We're talking about 5 years to 10 years, and depending on their karma, somebody walked into their life and they decided to accept such a person. But I've seen this unfold many, many times where a person has chosen to remain single for at least 5 years without, with choice, through their choice. And then, obviously, as things, as life progressed, then obviously they allowed somebody to walk into their life, not intentionally, but it just happened. They couldn't, use their logical mind to separate them from somebody new into the life. It just happened, and they got into this relationship, and in a very good space. So look, dear listeners, karmic entanglements are not relationships where they're coming from. They're definitely coming from past life. They're not definitely coming from past life. Not everything comes from past life. Sometimes, or most of the time, it's coming from maybe 5 or 6 lifetimes before, or it could be coming from a lifetime which is maybe 10 lifetimes before, which you're balancing off, or it could be somebody new in this lifetime that has come to obviously help you progress in your journey. So not every relationship is coming from your past life, number one. Number two, a karmic relationship and a karmic entanglement is not far off each other. A karmic relationship is a relationship that's more like a soulmate that has come to teach you a lesson. You learn the lesson, it's very painful, and then you move on. A karmic entanglement can be a soulmate, but a soulmate in most cases is just somebody that comes in and teaches you a lesson. So it's not necessarily a karmic entanglement. All right. So karmic entanglements are very, very different. So thank you very, very much, dear listeners. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Like and share this podcast with as many people as possible. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram. Om Namah Shivaya. Hare Bol and goodbye.